Welcome to the Blacklist AFTERBUZZ After Show, episode 22, the Alexander Kirk, the conclusion. Lizzie is alive. Let's go.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes. Colorful. This player? Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Welcome to the Blacklist AFTERBUZZ After Show. I'm sorry we're listening to the cool yacht rock harmonies of Player.
Yacht rock.
With Baby Come Back.
I love me some yacht rock.
For little baby Spagnus.
Little baby Spagnus.
Who's gone and needs to come back. And also for Liz Masha Ristova-Keen, who is also back. I'm Joe Braswell. Thanks for joining us here on the Blacklist AFTERBUZZ After Show. I'm joined, as always, by my main man, Joe Sanfelippo.
Nice to be here with you guys.
And for the final time of the season, I'm joined by the lovely Julia Cearley.
Here I am. Hey, guys. Hi, everybody.
We are very pleased to be here. Thank you for joining us for the entire season. I think we have some business to take care of, first of all. So it turns out Red isn't Lizzie's father.
Oh,
Listen.
Flippo.
Listen.
Let's talk about it.
Here's where I'm at.
Turns out
3 years we've been fighting this battle with you.
First
now.
off,
just get some acknowledgement.
here's where we're at right now.
Where are we?
I don't know Alexander Kirk. I don't know if he's a trustworthy narrator or not. I have no idea. I don't know if Alexander Kirk is out there just saying stuff. I don't know anything about Alexander Kirk.
You sound like your boy Trump in 2011 with the birther. I don't know. I don't see a birth certificate. I don't know. I don't know if he's from this country.
All I know is Alexander Kirk is a phenomenal, fantastic, terrific guy who's going to do a great job.
Gonna get the best people.
He'll be the best at what he does.
All right.
Listen, listen, here's the thing. First off, I want to say this, and whatever. We were right about everything. We said it was Kaplan. We said that Tom was in on it.
Yeah,
we said
don't defer.
We were right about everything.
Yes.
You were right about everything except one big thing. Flippo, just a minute, man.
I'm not. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying Alexander Kirk may very well have been with Mom, and the whole thing may be. But I'm telling you, Red is the dad. It's going to come out. There's going to be a blood test. There's going to be some bad thing. I'm telling you.
This is ridiculous.
Thank you, Maury Povich.
You know, I feel like Whoopi Goldberg and Soap. He hasn't got a head. How can I write for a guy who hasn't got a head? At this point, I'm kind of going down that road. I respect that, but that's my opinion.
Fair enough.
I'm not wearing a yellow blouse until it has been unequivocally beyond doubt proven.
What is it gonna take?
You know, what's it gonna take to prove Lizzie was dead? I told you, head out of the head on the thing.
Please make this man put on this yellow blouse, please. We're in open season 4 with Joe in the yellow blouse.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen for sure. Welcome again, guys. This was a fantastic, pretty satisfying episode. I think it was filled with a lot of great acting, like really good acting by Ulrich, Alexander Kirk. He was good in the very few moments that he had. I thought Red was spectacular. James Spader was spectacular in this episode as usual, but he was particularly good in this. He had a lot to do emotion-wise, a lot of like revenge, simmering revenge, a lot of like regret, a lot of like surprise, like
and
betrayal,
camera just like quarter-inch from your face.
Yeah.
What do you got for us?
Yeah, James Spader was really doing a lot of non-verbal acting here. A lot of good stuff. We'll talk about that later. I think Wrestler even tried to show some chops. Excuse me. So that comes fast. Good episode all in all. Pretty satisfying. And for the most part, listen, say what you want about whatever you want to say about. At least we got some goddamn answers.
We think we got answers.
Shut up. We got some answers.
Alexander Kirk said I'm your dad. Does that matter? What is that? What is it?
I can't deal with you.
Okay. Julia, what did you think of this episode?
I'm just saying, I don't know this guy.
Do you believe Alexander Kirk's the father?
Yes, I do.
What did you think of this episode?
I thought it was a great episode. Very satisfying, like you said.
This guy. Sorry.
I believe Alexander Kirk believes he's her father. Doesn't mean anything.
Julia, continue. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna murder him. Stab his back. Only it's to Flippo.
Jesus.
Man will not admit when he's been wrong. Anywho, love the episode.
I see no reason to admit anything.
Shut up. Super satisfying, super fun. Just a great all-around finale. Like, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
That definitely leaves me wanting way more.
It does, and it also does something interesting. It kind of sets the table for whatever the new incarnation of the Blacklist is going to be. Like, what does this mean for the future of the Blacklist? We can talk about that at the end of our show. I know we have the spinoff, which now has a name. It's called the Blacklist
Redemption.
Blacklist Redemption. Yeah,
but you know, they're still. I don't.
Great matters. Thank God.
I don't. You know what? Not Tom. What's his name? The actor, darn it,
Ryan Eggold.
Ryan Eggold gave an interview. And he was saying, "Listen, if you guys don't like the name, we get it. Or we have thick skin. Just give us a better one." So that was just 2 days ago. So there's still
they're still working it out.
We got redemption for right now, but you know, Gray Matters isn't dead. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not mad at Jon Bokenkamp for trying to do the Dick Wolf franchise thing that NBC's known for. I mean, you know, Law and Order.
Why wouldn't you?
Chicago Hopes and Chicago
Fire and
Medical
PD
and
yeah.
There's a new one coming.
Oh yeah.
Chicago Courthouse, Chicago Parking Meters, Chicago Meter Maids, Chicago Post Office tonight on NBC.
Oh gosh, you need that overnight? Oh gosh,
I need that letter.
Dun dun dun.
But yeah, so the Blacklist : Redemption. You know, maybe we'll have the Blacklist : you know, Dembe lives. And, so we'll
Wish
see.
you wouldn't keep saying colon. All
right. So we're you know, but we're back here, and I'm live here. Thank you for all of our usual people for joining us in the room here: VF Church and Nikki S and Shamil and Jenny D and Sazu 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, Mary Suzanne, excuse me, Bridget Shea, all you guys. Karen just says Kaplan's the daddy. I believe it. VF Church Musician says, I'm with you, Flippo. I don't think a father needs to hold a gun to the daughter to put it in the concrete bunker. That's not dumb. Red is not Lizzie's father. Yes. Get this man in a yellow blouse, folks. Anyway, glad to have you guys all checking us out live. We appreciate all of you. So, let's get down to business. We have... we had a great episode. So this is a conclusion of what happened then. I want to start before we get into the recapping. I want to just continue with the question I started asking: is where does this leave us? Where does this leave the post office, the morally broken, corrupt, post office that's confused as hell, that's kind of in shambles? Red officially has resigned. He was ready to do something else. Lizzie is no longer an FBI agent. She's out there being Masha. Like, Tom is clearly going to go on another show. So what do we think? Where are we going?
Well, you know what's interesting to me is what this the whole idea of assassinating Alexander Kirk. That Red was going to do this. That was the way. That's the way it's going to go. There's no. You're helping me do this. And he kind of, the way they wrote it, he just pushed his way through, and I thought that was great. He went through everybody. Samir didn't have a problem with it, but Rester obviously destroyed him, and Cooper obviously had all kinds of reservations and problems with it. But it was interesting that they got all the reaction out of them that they could get. And it didn't happen, which is almost worse. Which is almost like you've proven to yourself, all these folks proved to themselves, they've shown the mirror up to them, that you were willing to let this happen. You were willing to be a whore, essentially. And now you got to kind of like move forward with the knowledge that you were going to let him assassinate this guy. And how far down the road you've gotten into whatever you want to call it, the gray zone.
It's as if they all hit their version of rock bottom.
Exactly. I mean, Rester, I think he missed his afternoon shave. When he came back,
God.
I mean,
No!
I'm not even sure if he shaved 4 times that day. It only been 2 or 3.
What do you think? Where's this going? Where's the Blacklist season 4 going to take us?
I'm not sure. Yeah, Red did resign, but he resigned under the circumstance that Liz was no longer with us. Liz was dead, so my work here is done. And
sure.
And his parting words to Cooper were really quite beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Really quite stunning, and it was nice to see that moment between the two of them.
Yeah.
But the first thing he did when he was on that airplane was call and say, "Hey guys, Liz is alive. I'm on my way to Cuba."
Right.
So he's back in.
Yeah.
But like we were saying before, I don't know where this leaves the members of the post office, as they did, like I said, hit rock bottom. They were so willing to commit these atrocities. They've been committing these atrocities in the name of avenging Liz's death.
She's not even dead.
Yeah.
And what does that mean for her if she comes back and all these people have done all these things for her,
usual.
and she as freaking usual.
And let's not forget. Not only has everybody gotten themselves emotionally or morally tainted or whatever the fuck, a lot of people died. Lots and lots of people got wactified.
And she doesn't seem to give a shit.
No, she's like, I'm in white. Have you seen me? I'm in Cuba, and it's white, and there's glossy whiteness all around me.
And but we're free. Everyone else is dead. But
Right.
Okay.
We're free.
We probably killed like 35 people, I think, in either vengeance or remember to send a message to Famke's character.
Oh yeah.
Remember and all. I mean, that's every one of those people is
Well,
somebody who
this is
died.
what Red's in scorched earth mode, like, and he doesn't give a f what's left behind him, and he's there for to avenge Lizzie. But yeah, the thing is, if I'm Aram, or if I'm Harold, or if I'm Wrestler, or if I'm Navabi, am I pissed at Liz?
I'm pissed at Liz.
Am I relieved? Oh, thank God she's alive. We were just
Maybe
about
for a
to,
second,
and
but then I'm pissed.
Right.
If I'm Cooper, I'm like, I got up there, I preached. I mean, I did a whole song and dance thing. I mean,
Yeah, and your
preached
favorite scene,
it up.
your favorite scene of the
I
series.
loved it so much. It was so great.
They mourned, and then they've just their moral compass has been completely turned
Aram
around.
and Samir
she
shared a
doesn't-
joint in the back of
Yeah.
the company Escalade.
And Wrestler did nothing about it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
He all he did about it was shave.
He doesn't
just
even know
shaved
himself
about
anymore.
He looked the other way. All right, so yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see. Like, I this is what I do like about sort of where we are now. Is it's taken this group of characters that we've got to know over this 3 years, and really is shaking it up out of procedural land and dumped them all out onto something that could be interesting. Because I think one of my chief complaints of the Blacklist is, when it's in its procedural mode, it's kind of same-ish, and the good stuff is the stuff outside of the procedure, the stuff that is like Red and Red's world and these other character things. And now we're getting opportunities to see all these people as characters. We know who Wrestler is. We know who Navabi is now to a certain degree. We know Aram. We know Harold. Like, these are real fleshed out three-dimensional characters now that have to interact in this world, in the Red and Lizzie world. The only character that's not three-dimensional is Lizzie.
Oh, yes.
I'm kidding.
No, she's great. Everything's great.
She's back.
So Tom,
Yay.
all these people. So I'm very interested to see what Lizzie does in this world, and where Agnes is in this world. So I think we set ourselves up for, I don't know. I like not knowing where they're gonna go, and I think that's fun to me. So I'm excited about it.
I agree.
So let's get into the episode. So we start with, which is where we left off, which is our old Ted Cruz presidential candidate guy.
Yep.
In the pocket of Red, and Red still making it very clear that this is what you're going to do. And I love that scene where he talks to him and tells him basically, you're not only gonna do this, but you're gonna be elected president, and you're gonna dish out a presidential pardon for Lizzie.
Not for me. I don't need it.
Because he's gonna make stuff
Because I
right.
want to make things right.
That landed for me. I don't know.
Did
Sorry.
it? I didn't see the point of it, but
Yeah.
okay.
That landed.
Maybe you will later when you find out he's her dad.
And I thought she was pretty much pardoned, wasn't she?
No, was she pardoned?
I mean, she's no longer an
No,
FBI
it was a
agent.
commuted. No. It was that was part of the thing.
So it was a commuted sentence.
She wasn't. Because she wasn't exonerated and part like just like she killed a guy, but she did it because of these circumstances.
Yeah.
And therefore she's not a spy and this and also there.
Okay.
So that's how they did it.
So kind of like A Few Good Men, like all right, well you did it, but we're not going to let you be Marines anymore. You guys are you're out.
No.
Yeah. Poor PFC Loudon.
Poor PFC Loudon. Oh,
Anyway.
I don't understand.
Oh look. Oh,
What?
People are saying. Look, I heard Julia's lovely.
Oh.
Yes.
Nothing.
you.
Nothing. Well, that's cool.
Oh,
I
well,
can handle it. No.
Bridget says both Joes are very handsome.
They are indeed.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
right,
very much.
Bridget.
Thank
I'm
you,
right, Bridget. Thank you.
And then as we talk about ourselves, and people on iTunes like, who gives a F?
Gives an F. Talk about the show.
People
Yeah,
on
like-
iTunes are like, who cares? Thank you, those of you watching. We appreciate that. So they have that conversation, and then we get to see what's going on with my man, Alexander Kirkington. What's going on with
Is it
Well,
hemophiliac, or what do you think it is?
yeah, like with the blood? What's happening there?
I don't know.
Oh,
Is
I
it?
don't know what that is.
That's a lot of transfusion. He's awful casual about dripping blood all over the
A
floor.
lot of blood.
Yeah.
Well, that was very. I can't help but see Kai Proctor. I mean, I don't know if you guys watch Banshee, but like he's just giving me
Separate a
some-
man?
He's giving me some like that move with him sitting there, and he doesn't care if the blood comes out. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah, but he gets much more violent in the old Banshee.
yeah, and much more. But we don't know.
But that's a different show.
What do we have any guesses of what's going on with him and why the treatment? And he's obviously feels very like Red-esque. He's got a team of people who who are keeping him in the shadows. He seems abreast of every situation. He's well connected. Like, I don't know, what is this guy? Do you have any thoughts on who and what the hell he is?
Whatever they're playing, they're playing chess. They're not playing checkers. I think I don't know. He's obviously got a disorder of some sort. I don't know what you need new blood for on a routine on the regular, but he's had that. For a couple of episodes, he had some sort of transfusion it looked like going on.
Yeah.
So with dialysis, they take it out and put it back in. That doesn't look like dialysis to me. Yeah. So I mean, hemophiliacs, I don't think they lose that much blood.
Well, maybe that's why he's so intent on getting Liz or Spagnus because he probably needs them for genetic stuff.
I need the blood. Oh, that'd be so good. He needs marrow.
True. Yeah, something.
Something.
And he's from the baby or from Liz.
That's why he needed them unharmed. That's why he came after them.
Julia!
There you go, boys.
Dropping bombs!
Good night, folks.
There you go.
I don't even know why we came in.
I like that.
Should have just put the microphone in front of the redhead and let her go.
Yeah.
He also, they alluded to his prized asset in the U.S., that if he didn't show up for the hearing, that he would be otherwise indicted if he didn't cooperate. And they said, his lawyers said that, your most prized asset in the U.S. will be lost if you don't show. Oh. So what's that?
I don't know what that means.
Liz. I don't know.
Well, Liz is already, as far as he was concerned, dead. That's why the baby becomes so important. Oh, man, that's good.
Why is Alexander Kirk only number 14?
I don't know.
Or maybe they'll do like a switcheroo where it's like Alexander Kirk is 14, but his real name, what's his name?
Constantine
Rostov is number 2.
Oh, yeah, he's number 2.
Maybe we'll do one of those moves.
You think I'm bad? You should meet the real me. That's it became the count. I don't know. We broke pants.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that was funny to me, but it was.
Every now and
you
then.
make me laugh. Yeah, once a year, 20 years.
What time is it? Must be.
So let's get back to this. We're in this massive caper slash scheme of Red, very elaborate scheme to flush him out, right?
Yes.
And the first thing he stole the oil, that didn't quite flush him out. He had my man go out and accuse him of.
I loved his line, by the way, about the hijacking the oil.
Yeah.
When he's talking to Cooper, he goes, "I hijacked the oil because I'm a criminal.
Yes.
But I'm parting with it so I can plant this evidence."
Right.
Did you forget who you were?
It's like, I'm a criminal.
I'm a criminal.
I love
That's
that.
kind of the shit I do.
That's kind of one of my favorite moments of this entire episode.
So, and I felt that moment too. Poor Cooper is just like, he's just so powerless and along for the ride. Like, what are we doing now, Red? Like, I'm no longer. Like,
we're going to drive a busload of children off a bridge? Yeah. Sounds like, I guess we got to do it.
What are we doing?
We're doing it for Liz.
But yeah, so like, the very loud, so that didn't drive him out. Then he had, my man, what's the senator's name?
Diaz.
Senator Diaz accused him of dealing with terrorists, and that didn't flush him out. And then they had to do the other heist part too, which I like with the very like, good music, where they did the move and where they
pulled the old switcheroo of the
tanks, and Red was ordering chili dogs and wanted to know the difference between a Swiss cheese and kraut dog versus a Reuben dog, which is
I mean, it's
great.
That's a good question. I mean, the difference has got to be what, Thousand Island? I mean, that's
rye bread.
Well, on the rye bread. I mean, who eats a hot dog out of rye bread?
Oh, that sounds really good.
It does sound good, doesn't it? Sounds like hangover food. Did you need hangover food? Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I do.
I'm fine, guys.
Okay.
That's Brass. He was there.
I was there. It was fine.
His liver
we went
needs
out
to be
last night.
studied.
No one cares. But I do like that. I do like the tanker switcheroo scene because that was very. Again, I love scenes that show competence, and I like Tom being competent. Like
Sure.
So Tom being like a competent man who can do whatever, and the thing with the dog, and the actual doing that. You see him pulling the handle down and switching the stuff up. I loved all of that, and hopefully, Blacklist: Redemption has a lot of that stuff in it.
Yeah,
Please
I love
stop
that
saying
too.
colon. I just keep thinking
It is.
No, I
You're
love
gonna need an
that too.
exam.
I was thinking the same thing when you're talking about what you were just talking about. Like, how do you know how to do that stuff? Because you're a goddamn spy and you're
Goddamn
awesome.
super spy.
Yeah.
How do you know how to do that? I don't know how to do that.
I couldn't
But it's
uncouple.
like
I couldn't
nothing.
uncouple that with a gun to my head.
But he does it seamlessly, and
Yeah.
that's why I love Tom Keane, and I will watch his new show,
Blacklist: Redemption.
Redemption.
So
Can't wait to say redemption.
So yeah, that is the thing that finally gets maybe him being Kirk to say, okay, well, I'm going to show up at this hearing, right? Was that the thing that pushed him over the edge, the tanker switcheroo? What got Kirk?
Well, that
to
was
say?
supposed to be it. Like that was supposed to like compel him to cooperate to come to the hearing,
Right?
Because he's been accused of this.
Yes, which he decides to do, right? Or does he not decide to do that?
Well,
we know ultimately he doesn't do it, but in that moment he decided to go. He pulled the switcheroo at the last minute.
I guess.
I'm assuming, right?
I guess. I mean,
or
was
he never gonna go?
I'm sure I don't think he was ever going to go. He knew like the second he stepped out of that car, Red was going to be waiting for him.
Right.
He knows all of this is happening because of Red to get him to come to us.
All
right?
Red wants him to do is show his face so we can take him out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why is he going to show up?
Yeah. I guess he would know that. I guess he would know that.
Yeah.
What about my man, the crazy? I don't know. I don't know if he's Native American or Latino.
Yeah, I don't know what he
He
is,
seems
but
Native
he's
American to me.
scary.
Yeah, he's got some No Country for Old Men
Yes,
vibes
I thought the
going
exact
on.
same thing.
Yeah, he's got some.
It's got the old 1970. What was that? 1970, 74, 75.
You talking about
Plymouth there
Walking
was-
Tall? Yeah, his car. Yeah, he was
Gold.
he's a good kind of character.
Yeah, he's
no-
got a face.
And he wasn't like a guy who had a bunch of tech stuff and a bunch of high-powered stuff. He looked like he was coming from the old school.
Absolutely.
Like, and it won't be a problem.
I just kill fools on my way in. That's how I do it.
That guy was an interesting character.
Yeah, I like
Did he
him.
live? He lived, right?
Yeah, he lived.
Yeah, I think no one really knows what happened.
Yeah, because he says this is going to be continued because they're in Cuba now.
Yeah.
And he's not going to beat him to Cuba.
Huh. That guy was great. I love that guy.
He was also a stone cold killer when he killed that doctor.
Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing.
He was like,
Bye, Doc.
Yeah. He's like, I did what you asked. Just.
Done.
And he's like eating his whatever.
Right?
Finish. What was he eating?
I don't know.
Ain't no thing.
Anyway. So that guy was guy. So.
I love that he came to the meeting with a dude in the trunk already.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great introduction to the character. Yeah, he's like, okay, I've got a guy back here. I'm taking care of this other thing, but what's your thing?
Don't worry, this is another half hour. This is gonna be over.
Yeah, and the guy setting that up, that my assumption is that is obviously Alexander Kirk's guy.
Well, that's the guy that we saw originally, right? The guy who we thought was the head of stuff. Turns out he's not the head of stuff. He's the what do you call him? Consigliere of this whole scene.
The one that Scotty tried to kidnap. That was him? Yeah.
Yeah. Consigliere.
Consigliere.
I thought you're Sicilian. What is this?
It's a joke.
The consigliere.
Consigliere.
Salvatore.
Don't you? It's my dad's birthday. Don't you remember analyze this or with Billy Crystal?
Yes.
No, never
Okay,
mind.
I got it. You don't know. I'm like Sal would be so pissed.
Consigliere.
Anyway,
Nothing?
no,
I got it.
So he finds it out. So we get all this thing set up, and we're all set up for Red to have him taken out with a very giant, high-powered rifle. He goes and has that wonderful conversation with Cooper, and kind of says, "This is what's going down, and I'm no longer needed here, and this is going on." And
He also says that he can't accept the post office's involvement in this final act of
Right.
killing
That was
Kirk.
just good salesmanship. That was just good salesmanship.
What do you mean?
When you want someone, when you're in a spot where you don't want to have objections from somebody, and you want them to, at the same time to be relieved of the burden of making a choice, you say, "Listen, I couldn't accept your help in the first place. The help was never even offered. It was never on the table. But it's a great sales tactic.
Well, it was also. I
couldn't ask you to take that. I couldn't ask you to do that. Here's what we're going to do. I couldn't ask that. That's too much.
No, we'll do it.
I think it was kind of him. I think he knows that he's pushed them to places that they never thought they would go, that they're involved with criminal activity, and they're still good people, you know? Like, they're meant to do good, and so he can't let them commit murder.
Well, I get that. I do. But one way or the other, he was going to do this. And so I think the way he pitched it was basically, you don't have a part to play in this. And therefore, it's not only is it not, I'm not asking you to do it, I'm not asking you to help, I'm not asking permission either. And I'm not asking you to say it's okay, because it doesn't matter, because I'm going to do it.
Right.
Does that make any sense?
Kind of. That makes sense to me. It makes complete sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes complete sense. So he does that, and in Ram, your boy Ram has a moment of conscious.
Of course.
With
Yeah.
his
You
the
know,
13-year-old
like,
boy
I'm
with his
not
first
okay with
erection on the
this.
school bus?
Oh, that's
What a
hysterical.
line! What a
That was a great line. Come on. That was a good line.
Yeah, he's
Asked him to set him up with someone, and I don't know if you guys watched it on your computer or what. There's been this running commercial with Navabi
yes.
for the Ford Escape, and she's been set up on a blind date, and the blind date turns out to be a Rom in this commercial.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
wearing a
they're
red carnation.
wearing red carnation,
Yeah.
and then she goes, "It's you," and then they hug.
Is that wow? Is that outside? Is that in the Blacklist universe, or is that like?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
the Ford Focus,
She's-
the Ford Escape. Ford Escape.
I know,
But
I-
she is
she's
Samar Navabi, and he
Okay.
is a Rom.
Oh, I didn't know that. 'Cause I'm
Yeah,
watching
Ford's
Yeah.
throwing down some money on the Blacklist.
Well, we got a side story going on.
Well, it's commercial.
No,
it's a car
commercial.
commercial.
I want
how
to
you-
go. I want
how
to
you
go.
took
I want to
that.
go inside the date, Ford. Take me on the date.
Take me. They probably did. You can go online. I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more to it.
Right? Order pizza. See what's happening.
All right, so no more 13-year-old boy on a school bus.
This first direction.
Yes. So he gets there. Rom's having a problem with it. Wrestler clearly has a problem with it, and we see all of this is a big payoff for Wrestler. We've seen Wrestler. We've talked about this before. Why is he so angry? And he's such a Boy Scout. He's such and he's had crossing these moral lines, and that's kind of interesting. We've seen this, but this is it all coming to literally coming to a head. And he's super Boy Scouted out, and I love that when he tracks Red down, and they've got the high powered rifle, and they're gonna take the shot, and we have that standoff with Dembe and Red and Wrestler. And that was a fascinating conversation about morality and the ambiguity of this situation and Wrestler's part, even actively or passively in this. And I think it was just really fascinating.
I really like the way they structured it, because they could have done it a bunch of different ways. It's one of those scenes where it's like this could go. We could have Dembe interfere. We could have Dembe and Wrestler wrestle. We could have Red. Red push or kick back or do something so that we take the decision out of Wrestler's hands, but that wouldn't be the point of the scene. The point of the scene was to show Wrestler accept that this was going to happen and essentially choose, right? Red makes him literally choose.
Yeah.
So the question is, you want to put a bullet in my head or a bullet in Alexander Kirk's head? One way or the other, that's how
bullet's
this
going
is going.
somewhere.
Yeah. Which I thought was so good, because they didn't shy away from it. They made Wrestler choose, and then once he chose, then it did. There was obviously no actual hit, but then he knows, and he has to live with that, right? He knows that he chose that. He chose to allow that to happen, and who the hell am I now, and what am I doing here, and maybe I should go take some more prescription drugs and think about it.
It was definitely a game of chicken of conviction.
Yeah.
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 And he walked out the other end realizing that he was completely corrupted by this whole scene.
Yeah, and doesn't like it. And I like the fact that he did get my man who I've never seen before, my man who was on the rifle.
Everly.
He
was cool.
He let Everly get out, and he's like, "I'll take it over." So you have to either kill me.
Yeah.
So that was very smart. And Dembe looked a little nervous. Dembe looked a little nervous in the situation.
Had a moment.
Am I gonna have to shoot Wrestler in this moment?
Right.
Am I gonna have to shoot this guy? But fortunately for all parties involved, it wasn't Alexander Kirk. It was his representative attorney doing the old switcheroo. So let's go back to the. Speaking of the old.
Can you do that, P.S. if you're summoned in front of like a congressional hearing?
fairly certain.
Just be like, yeah, I'll send my lawyer. You don't need me.
I'm fairly certain the lawyer shows up only to postpone whatever's going to happen next, because they're not going to be happy about it unless you got a lot of money, and he's got.
Alexander
a lot of money.
Kirk told me he was going to say, I disagree.
I disagree. Alexander pleads the fifth through me, so we'll just see how long it takes before there's indictments, and then there'll be more of me.
So let's speaking of the old switcheroo, let's go back over to the grocery store, and the full detail of what was happening there, and that move. This is interesting to me because this is where when you kind of go back and you check the tape, some of these things like M. Night Shyamalan, The Sixth Sense, they're very meticulous about, like, if you go back and you check every single moment, it all made sense, and you knew the whole time that he was dead at the end. Spoiler alert. Sorry if you haven't seen The Sixth Sense.
You had 15 years. I don't know what else to tell you.
But in this, it's like, I don't know if I check the tape, if I can fully be convinced that I thought that Kaplan was, I don't know.
Well, Kaplan could have been in on it.
Well, no.
Kaplan wasn't on it.
She was in on the entire time.
So she was in on the baby switcheroo?
Yes, she got him
she
on the
had to be
plane.
on the baby switcheroo.
Oh, shit, she arranged the plane.
Yes. So the whole, so even in that baby switcheroo moment, she seemed genuinely baffled, and the way they played out, that was only between the two of them. That was only between Tom and Kaplan. Like, here's the baby. Oh, thanks, Tom. There was no thanks, Tom. Wink. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Like the plane's waiting. Like no
they're
one's
super
watching.
spies.
It's okay. They're anyway.
Competence.
Smooth move though with the bow tie, and I don't know how Tom gives that team the slip, but he did with the baby.
Kaplan's help.
Okay.
Also, well, here's the question. Maybe Kaplan didn't know about that. There's no way they could have planned on having a redheaded lady in there with a baby. That's SS hoping for the best. That doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, to me, maybe the plan was that I've got the plane arranged. You ditch it. You get out of here on your own. Right. However you're going to get out of here, that's up to you.
Well, they seem to know that grocery store very well. You know, they knew the little sandwiches, and maybe this woman with a baby is a regular. You know,
so
women
kind of knew Red was coming through.
Mothers that they sometimes have a routine. Like, this is the day that she shops. She shops at this time when the other kids are at school. Like, they probably staked it out.
Why do they have time to stake it out?
All right. Well, anyway,
I'm with you. I got you.
The switch was made.
Either way, it was made.
The switch was made. Tom's on his way to the airport. Old Latino / Native American guy realized what was going on, and so then everyone's off to Cuba, and Red has been, when Red finds out, he's been duped. And I gotta tell you, like, the moment, well, first of all, how soon in that sequence did you realize that Lizzie was alive? Like, how soon along the line? When did you go?
The episode she
died. Because there's as when Tom left and got on the plane, I'm like, he could only be going to one place, and then Kaplan, and then I don't know. How soon did you know? When did you start going like, uh-oh?
I don't know. I mean,
when did you care? We were like, yeah, she's alive. When's she showing up?
I figured she was going to show her face eventually. I don't know. I figured when he went to Cuba, when he's, I don't know what don't get me in trouble. You guys talk about it.
All right. So Lizzie's back. Never mind.
Don't get me in trouble.
That's
her face. Oh, we knew a while back, and as soon as he made as soon as he broke out, as soon as we realized he's leaving the store without permission, and he's got the kid. He's going to get Liz. He's going to Liz.
Here's what happened here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. When did you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. When I saw Tom leaving and I saw him getting on the plane, I'm like, oh, here we go. This is it.
So it was the plane for you?
The plane.
Not 4 episodes ago.
No, I mean, I was hopeful.
We didn't know Cuba. How could we have gone?
No, I didn't know. No one guessed Cuba, but I think we're all kind of hopeful or not hopeful that Lizzie. But look, I'm glad Lizzie's back, and I'm glad that she's back in this, and we can finally get some answers. Because I was not satisfied that she was dead, and we have no answers to all of this, like who's the father and the burns in the back and the rip, like very unsatisfying. So I wanted to get those answers, and I want to see where they'll go with the Lizzie King character, or will she be Marsha Rostova?
We didn't really get many answers. Let's be honest. All we got was like, I am your father.
Right.
That's it. We still don't know what she means. And I mean, everything was still talked about in secret with Mr. Kaplan.
But when I say we get answers, we did get the answer to the age-old Blacklist question: is Red the father? The answer is no.
Yes.
We also get to the answer to the question: is Lizzie dead or alive? We know that. We also got to answer the question: how did she do it? We saw the flashback, and and this is what happened. This other thing.
We still don't know who she is or why she is.
Yes,
and that's what I want to know.
That's why we have season 4 and season 5 of the Blacklist. That's also why we have Blacklist: Redemption. So
stop calling.
Anyway, but I will say this: in that moment, I think I was a little headed towards like eye roll territory, like Lizzie's gonna be alive. This is gonna be so lame. I don't know. And as I was going to that payoff, the whole thing shifted for me personally, because the confrontation between Mr. Kaplan, old Kate, and Red
so good,
was so good, and the stakes felt so high.
Yes,
that I was like, oh, this is good.
That was really good.
That was really good stuff. And just the idea of Red's realization that, oh no, you betrayed me, and Red's realization that and Lizzie's alive.
I would have assumed every other person on Earth before I looked at you.
Yeah. He was bereft, and I believed it.
But she had a good comeback. I'm doing what I've always done. I'm protecting you.
Yeah, it's true.
You were too blind. Even Dimbe was like, she should know the truth, boss. He didn't say boss. I don't know. That's Rochester. He didn't say, Dimbe doesn't say boss.
It was nice to have someone call him out, When she said you wanted to know her so desperately, you convinced yourself you could keep her safe.
Yeah. Well, the ironic part is that he was keeping her safe, because Mr. Kaplan's like, I got this. I'll take care. I'll keep her safe. And then she's gone, not safe. And so if I'm Red, I'm like, I was keeping her safe until you interfered, Kate. And now you try to, take her away from me, who knows what they're doing. And you thought you know what you're doing, and now they're both in danger.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What are we gonna do?
She's
with
no
you?
Red. I mean, it did go too far. He was not keeping her safe there at the end. He really wasn't.
No, only
right?
because Alexander Kirk jumped in, but maybe he was
yeah.
waiting to jump in the whole time. I love the idea for medical reason of like bone marrow or whatever organ match.
Something genetic that leads from them.
So that was an incredible confrontation, and then it was I gotta admit, it was a bit of a nice reveal when they're in Cuba and a little saccharine when they're like, no one's
free.
chasing us now, we're free, here we are.
I dug Tom's Cuba look though.
I'll tell you what, I did not realize when you got off the airplane in Havana, when you got off the airplane, they just give you lots of white shit
They give you
to
linen.
Yeah,
wear. Like
linen.
you got
They just
nothing
give
but
you
linen.
linen.
Open
clothes.
shirts, linen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Sometimes the cool hat.
Yeah.
You get the cool white hat.
Make sure you got the hat.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's like when you get off the plane in Hawaii, they give you a linen.
It's
When you
different.
get off a plane in Cuba, they give
You
you
get a
linen and
full
a hat.
linen suit and a hat.
Yes.
I'm going to Cuba. I
That
know
sounds fun.
Linen's not cheap.
And when you get off the phone in Cleveland, they punch you in the face. That's enough. Don't know what that means. Anyway, so that happened. So Red is trying to figure this out, and that the whole realization that Kirk and he knows who Kirk is. No, we assume Red knows who Kirk is, right?
Yeah.
Do we know that Red knows that Kirk is actually Flabluba Rosova? What's his name?
Gotta know.
Konstantin Rostov.
Yeah, and you had that line.
Red
right?
has to know that, right?
He had that. He also had that line in last episode, like he was when they talked on the phone. You know, house by the water, gun in your mouth. I should have pulled the trigger.
Definitely.
So there's obviously a relationship.
Yeah. Okay. So he's ready to take out Liz's father because Liz is already dead, and and I wonder this whole thought of who was trying to get Liz. It was always the dad and not Masha, because the whole thought was like, when Liz is like, "It's my mother. My mother's out there," So because I'm sorry, Katerina. Katerina's alive too, right?
Red, I believe Red believes she's dead.
Okay.
Like I
She
believe
walked into the water. Remember that whole episode?
Right. That's right.
Cape May.
That's right. Cape May. Okay.
So I'm pretty satisfied that she's dead. Obviously, she could come back at any time because, whatever. Who knows?
Okay. So all that happens. So we have this this moment, and now they seem happy, and old country for old man dude gets in there. Now, what I'm extremely confused about, is his orders were very specific: kill the husband and get the baby. So when he's in there and they're wrestling around, and he gets conked on the head, by all accounts, Tom should be dead.
But clearly that is not happening because we have Blacklist, redemption. Colon redemption sounds terrible, doesn't it?
That's not the name of the show.
You need to stop saying colon redemption. That just how much fiber are you taking?
That's not.
That's the name of the new product.
All right.
We've gone from fiber 1 to colon redemption.
There it is.
We're gonna sell so much goddamn colon redemption.
That is the worst sequel ever made.
Are you backed up? Having a tough time being regular? Try colon redemption.
All right. So yeah, what? Where's Tom?
I don't know.
Okay, so we get to Cuba. Red's in there. Mr. Kaplan's in there. Everyone's in there. And as we have the final scene, Kate, with the gun in his hand. What do we do?
What do we do with you, Kate?
God, that was grim.
That was grim because it's all there. All the stuff I just talked about I knew I was keeping her safe. You took her from me. You endangered Lizzie, and first of all, you hid this whole thing from me, and then you put her in further danger because she was outside of my protection, and you took Lizzie's the daughter, put her in danger. Now they're both in the hands of homeboy. What do we do, Kate? What do you do with Kate?
She effed up.
I know she effed up, but what do you do with Kate?
What do you do?
What do you do? She thought she was doing right. She just couldn't see.
But is that enough for Red?
She can't see far ahead like Red always does. Red's always all these steps ahead. And Mr. Kaplan, she has one job, right? She's not Red.
Right.
Red is all encompassing, and he has all these little minions who have one job. She has one job, and she tried to be Red, and she can't do it.
Right.
In season 1, I wasn't here when you guys did the interview, but there was an actor in season 1 there was a character in season 1, if I remember right, that was like a right-hand man.
Oh yeah.
They got whacked out, right?
Yeah, it's my guy from
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And so we know that Red will kill somebody in his organization who has.
Good point.
There's precedent.
Good point.
For Mr. Kaplan.
But Mr. Kaplan is, I mean, like, she's literally...
Mr. Kaplan.
She's literally got Red out of... I mean, she saved his life.
How many
times? Countless times. I mean, she handles all of his affairs, cleans all of his dead bodies, makes all of his arrangements. Like... It is an ultimate betrayal, but Red, this is the world Red lives in.
But she really thought she was doing good.
Yeah, exactly. She
really thought she was doing good and doing this for him ultimately.
I wonder what that means.
I don't know.
What are we gonna do with you?
Yeah.
Oof.
That's scary.
Hello.
So then we have the final.
Her face was so good. So she gave such good face this episode.
She gave a good face.
Rita Hayward status.
So then we have the final scene with Lizzie in the chair and old Papa Rostova
comes out after the lightsaber fight, and then he says, "Liz, I'm your father."
But I thought that was a nice reveal. Like it was beautifully shot, and she's coming out of the shadows in that low light digital camera, and it's coming out of the shadows there. And I like the reveal's great. And my man Ulrich, my Danish guy, he's got some real gravitas and some real weight.
Yes, I agree with you.
So I'm all in, and I'm all in.
Yeah.
In fact, and like he like a lot of our famous blacklisters in the past 3 seasons, like you get the right blacklister in there, you get the right villain in there, and it just classes up the joint instantly. And the presence of him, he classes up the joint. Like I don't know, I'm I'm excited about season 4.
But is he a villain? I don't know that he's a villain.
Oh,
I don't know that he's a villain.
You're positing that he's not a villain?
We don't know anything about him. All we know about him is what Red has said about him. All we know about him is what Red has said about him and what he said about himself to Liz. That's all we know, and we know that he definitely, we know, no question about it. He runs a bunch of big companies.
Right.
He's an influential guy, and he's got money going into what's his name's campaign. Diaz's campaign. That's all we really know. Everything else is based on what Red has said he's doing or isn't doing. Right. We don't know. So I mean, is he a villain? We don't know. Within this world,
that's a good point.
I don't know.
And because Red is a criminal and a villain to a lot of people, a lot of families out there with dead parents who think Red is a super villain.
Absolutely.
So we talk about relativism here.
There's about 20 people that worked at Halcyon that definitely be like, F you, Red.
Right.
Well, I mean, look at the company he keeps. I mean, look who he was married to, Katerina Rostova.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're a super spy family.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good guy.
Boy,
he's not bad. I am bad guy, but I'm not bad guy.
Exactly. Man, Spagnus is gonna have a hell of a first birthday party.
Poor Spagnus.
That's gonna be.
So wait, all of you are criminals.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
That moment where Tom was choking out the guy, and she's just lying there. Spagnus is lying in her
Looking
crib,
eye to
and they're just making eye contact while he's trying to kill a man, and he's trying to I don't know. That was a really cool, sort of dark, creepy moment.
Yeah.
I was like,
"What's your first memory?" I feel like Dad was choking someone
Spagnus.
out.
Yeah, it's for Spagnus. We're talking online about. I was just mentioning online to the folks that Pee-wee was also someone who betrayed Paul Rubin's character.
How'd that go?
Didn't go well.
Didn't go well for him, if I remember right.
For him, but people were saying that he was a traitor and he worked for the
So
cabal.
Kaplan,
he had to go. He worked for the cabal, but I think a betrayal is a betrayal, right?
That's where this gets mushy.
Or is it?
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
It gets really mushy. None of us want Kaplan to die. Someone says, Layboy says Kaplan will die. Most people don't want her to die online.
I don't want her to die.
I don't want her to die.
It's Kaplan.
Yeah,
it's Mr. Kaplan. She saved his ass.
Okay, so let's. I don't know,
but
man.
He can't trust her.
Should we move into predictions here? What do you think?
Yeah, let's move into predictions. Flip on his accents. Give us some more accents first.
I don't
know. Go.
More accents.
Flippo's a master actor and a voiceover actor for a living by trade.
And you've heard
he's also a real actor.
You don't. There's no real person. Fuck you. Are we gonna do predictions or what?
Let's go to predictions. I'm just kidding.
And now your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Joe, you're an actor.
I may have said a bad word at you.
That's all right. It's okay. You got mad. In your best Sean Connery, give us your prediction.
Here's what I believe. Okay, so he pulls a knife, you pull a gun. So here's what I believe. Here's my prediction for you. All right.
Not bad.
So I think that Alexander believes Liz is his daughter, but Liz is not his daughter, and here's why. So here's my justification. Wait. So But once he finds out, because I'm going to medical thing, I love your medical thing.
Thank you.
Because he's got a medical condition, he needs Liz or the baby, he needs a donor of some sort, right? But Red knows that Liz is not actually his daughter. So maybe Alexander Kirk has been keeping her alive all these years, or keeping track of her all these years because he may need her as a donor at some point or another. But Red knows that once he actually tests her, she's not going to be his daughter, and then she's not protected anymore.
Can I speak to that real fast?
Because she's not.
Alexander Kirk didn't even know she was alive until she claimed that she was Masha Rostova.
Is that the deal?
Yeah,
You
that's
telling
what
me?
started him coming after
Right.
her. He didn't
So
even
you're
know
saying
she was
my theory
alive.
is good for shit?
Yes, it's bullshit.
All right, well, there goes my theory.
But it was a
Julia,
nice try.
How about a real theory? The one that doesn't prevent you from yelling.
Besides the fact that I
boss.
already dropped the mic with the medical condition.
You
Yes.
did. That was.
Let me just throw
good
that
night,
out there
Wisconsin,
first.
Right there.
Okay. You, can you
So
run that
whatever
on stage?
happens after this, who knows?
So this is
That's
encore.
the win. That's the winner right there. Liz might be enticed by the promise of a family. You know, like now that she knows, like, you are my father, like she might be like a little enticed by this
I see
idea,
that, sure.
and she might in season 4 be working to avoid Red and keep Red away from her because she wants to be with family.
And he's
Okay.
not family.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
Medical condition. Remember that one.
Ginny
Just
B.
remember that one.
Julia, you'll be happy to know Ginny B proclaimed online that Julia was right. Diamonds in the hem of the skirt. But it was the corset though. The diamonds were in the corset.
Sewed into the corset.
They were in the corset.
She's a princess.
Yes.
She's Anastasia.
Yeah. And people and Kayleen, I think that's how it is, says, Flippo, I so agree with you. Shun that yellow dress with pride. You're wearing that yellow dress. Anyway.
I'm not wearing that goddamn dress.
Anyway, so yeah, God, I have no idea where this goes. Someone online says the post office is going rogue. I'm really just curious to see what happens to the post office.
Yeah.
What happens to the whole federal government, arm of this. And I feel like what we're setting this up for is a bit of that, because these guys have crossed the line. I mean, like, Wrestler doesn't know who he is anymore. Navabi was always kind of like a free agent. Who knows what Aram is, whatever. I mean, Cooper has been in and out of that job forever. Maybe they do sort of form their own private company, or they go. I don't know if they remain part of the FBI. I wonder what happens with them at the post office.
Also, if Diaz becomes president, he is beholden to Red.
Oh, that's right.
So Red will be in the White House.
Do you think we'll see President Diaz?
I think so, yeah.
And Red is the Secretary of Hats or whatever. Secretary of Hats and Fine Wine.
Don't forget vests. Vests are important too.
Cassandra said next season the DNA test. So we'll see. We'll see who's the father. Oh yeah, but anyway, I'm very curious to see how they get Tom, and how do they separate Tom, Spagnus, and Lizzie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where is this going. I mean, Spagnus,
What does this mean for Tom?
Can't die.
No.
Tom,
Where is Spagnus, by the way? I mean, I'm sure she's with Kirk,
Right.
but she's not in that dark room
the
with Lizzie.
uncoupling of these guys, and then Tom has his own past to deal with. He's got a hot mama, like, literally, to deal with, that it's going to be his boss, that he's got to figure that thing out. And by the way, not for anything, Spagnus, what a pair of grandparents that Spagnus has got.
Yeah.
Like, he's got old Scotty on one side, Grandma Scotty, and Grandpa, super spy. What's his name? Kirk. So I don't know. Anyway,
Jon Bokenkamp has had some sort of fantasy about this going on for the next 20 years, and Spagnus picking the show up. It'll be like Blacklist : Redemption : Spagnus
lives. Yeah. Well, it reminds me of Kill Bill. Spoiler alert again, in Kill Bill, that scene where Uma Thurman and what's her name, Vivica Fox fight, and she kills her, and then the daughter sees the whole thing. Quentin's always said that in 20 years, maybe he's going to do a sequel where she comes up and she goes after
Uma.
Yeah, that's because that's how these things
And
work.
the cycle continues.
And I know from Little Birdie that may or may not have been announced as his next project.
Oh.
Side note. My point is that who knows? Spagnus.
Spagnus of God.
Spagnus of
Spagnus
God.
could be back in 20 years to wreck shop. Blacklist : who's my grandpa? I don't know.
Blacklist: Redemption, sponsored by Super Blue.
I think. Oh, that's a Saturday Night Live.
Remember that? Great sketch.
Here's the part where we say, I just want to leave some of these. Everyone says maybe Spy Baby put up for adoption. Magnus' memory get twisted. Ron goes on a date. I'm just getting into some of these predictions. You guys are great. I don't know. But anyway, bottom line is, that wraps up this season of the Blacklist. We have 3 seasons, and I think the show is definitely getting better. And I think that they've found a way to break out of this procedural world and break out of all this like weird, kind of big giant world and zone it in a little bit, because it's getting a little bloated with the Cabal and the this and the Fulcrum and then the Father and the Burn, and now we're kind of back to a few characters and we're spun some off. So great job. I mean, I'm very interested to see what season 4 holds and Blacklist: Redemption and how they interweave each other. And I don't know, it's a great season. And Joe, here's what I will say to you. I called you out at the beginning of the season saying that you'll only come to X amount of episodes.
Yeah.
And or I would wear the yellow blouse.
I believe you are yellow blouse, my man.
But red is not the father. So you're yellow blouse.
So you're saying our yellow blouses cancel each other out?
Right now they cancel each other out. We have to figure out a way to see.
Wait a second.
Because I sure as hell ain't wearing no yellow blouse.
Wait a second.
2 yellow blouses to start season 4?
Yes.
What's happening?
You guys earned those blouses.
All 3 of us will wear a yellow blouse.
I'll wear whatever I want. I won everything.
Okay.
Sure, she did win everything. You did win everything. She's never been wrong.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure.
Jules in the corset.
Jules in the corset. So many mic drops for you, Julia. It's been a lot of fun doing this with you guys again, and we'll be back for season 4, I believe, unless Joe says no.
Yellow blouse notwithstanding.
Right. I want to say thank you for all you guys who've been joining us over the years and over the seasons, who are in the chat room right now, and appreciate all of your loyalty and all the folks that are watching live right now. Appreciate you. All the folks on iTunes who have rated us and made us, continue consistently pretty. I think the top Blacklist podcast out there in the world. We appreciate you guys for doing that as well. And I don't know, we'll see. We'll have to do Blacklist: Redemption and this next year. We have 2 shows to cover. We should change this to AFTERBUZZ: Blacklist After Show: Season 4.
Sounds very reasonable. Nothing top heavy about that.
Where are you?
You can find me on the Twitters at Joe Flippo, JoeFlippo, and my website is josephsanfelippo.com.
Okay. I am Julia. Who cares about me? Where are you?
Guys, you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram with my name, Julia Cearley, JuliaCearley. Go ahead and follow me.
Yes. I'm Joe Braswell. You can find me at Joe K. Braswell on Instagram and Twitter, and on Snapchat at JK Braz. Thank you again to all of you, Shamal, Cassandra, VF Church, Jenny B, Joe Braswell, that's me, sorry. Jenny B, Tiffany, VF Church, I said you, Saul, Kayleen, all of you, thank you so much for joining us, and we love you all. It's Pod 97. We'll see you next season. Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.